Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to nutrition class. I'm glad you could join me this morning. I do hope everybody's doing well and had a great week and will enjoy the weekend and get out and get some fresh air. So I wanted to talk about today's recipe. More importantly, first, I want to discuss that February, as we know, is Heart Month. And this is a time when we need to really dive in deep, do some screenings of our cardiovascular health, get to know our numbers, have some blood work checked, and just to see where we find ourselves dealing with cardiovascular health overall. It's an important thing. I can't stress it enough. We are either indirectly or directly affected by someone we know who suffers from heart disease. More importantly with that, I like to stress the importance of learning CPR. Myself and my two younger children just recently did our recertification last month, and it was probably one of the best things we could do as a family, just to learn these vitally important steps to save lives, and not just for our friends and families, but just in our community. We did learn adult, infant CPR, we learned AED placement, and we also learned the Heimlich maneuver to learn on ourselves to administer in the event we are choking or to help somebody else if they are choking. So I just hope that everybody will consider getting the training done and skills to learn how to appropriately give CPR in a timely manner, because it will save lives. So today's recipe, I decided to make a zucchini loaf. And I know it sounds funny, it's a zucchini lasagna loaf. It's only 250 calories. I maintained a great budget shopping. It was all under $20. Depending on the protein you want to use, you could use it in the recipe as directed with prosciutto. I opted not to use that, but I wanted to demonstrate it with some ground chicken sausage we simply took the chicken sausage out of the casing and we decided to brown it, and this will be our source of protein instead of using the prosciutto. The recipe calls for basically 2 medium-sized zucchinis. You're going to want to get your favorite breadcrumbs. You can bake them if you wish or buy them already done. I chose Italian for today. You're going to use grated Parmesan and your seasonings. Your seasonings, you can kind of create your own blend if you wish to. I didn't have all the same ingredients, the dry ingredients that were needed for the seasoning part of it, so I did substitute a few things. I stuck with my onion and the paprika, but I had to substitute with an Italian, which was fine to do. And then for your topping, as we move into that, as we begin to layer this delicious zucchini lasagna, you are going to finish it off with an all-time favorite. We all love our mozzarella, with some yummy pepper flakes and as well as olive oil. So again, everything is optional. You can play with this, you can add or substitute almond flour if you do not want to make this particular breadcrumb mixture when you do so. So all you're going to need is your loaf pan, some parchment paper, very simple. Your zucchini, you're going to want to go ahead and be very careful when it comes time to slice them. The thinner the slice, the less watery your zucchini is going to be. I've already begun to slice some here. I have my mandolin, which is super sharp, so I always use the guard here when I do so. You're going to take your zucchini, you're going to cut off both ends, peel it, and then make sure there's no skin left on it, and then you're going to slice it into thin slices. And it's so easy to do. I just gently glide it through. You can pick the thickness of your zucchini, and as you can see, this is going to work perfectly as we start to layer. I'm laying it on a little bit of paper towels just to absorb the additional moisture, because zucchini is a very watery type of vegetable, and I want to be able to, when I start laying this out, I want to make sure it is drier. So as you can see, it's thin, very sliced. It's going to cook evenly. It won't be watery. I know that may be a concern that some folks do have, is a too watery of a lasagna. So once I have everything sliced, I'm going to go ahead and create my breadcrumb mixture. And this mixture you'll use throughout your recipe in layering it. And again, it's the breadcrumbs, the grated Parmesan, and your blend of seasonings here. You want to put that on a plate, and this is going to be your dredging mixture. You mix it all together and just spread it out. Meanwhile, you have your stove preheating to 350, and you're going to want to line your loaf pan with parchment paper and a little bit of cooking spray if you have that. So when you start your layering process, you will take a little bit of the breadcrumb mixture and just put it on the bottom. So I'm just going to sprinkle it here, and that's going to be your base. And then once you have that there, put it aside, and now you're going to start dredging your zucchini slices. And again, you want to really give them a good bath in your mixture. Cover it well, all around, all sides, and you're simply going to start layering this all together. And once you get a nice thickness, depending on how thick you want this to be, that's going to determine how many layers of the zucchini you're going to actually put. So I layered 2 like that. I did end up already cutting a few in half because that's going to be on my edge that I'm going to build from. So once you do your first layer of your zucchini, then you're going to add your protein. If you don't want to use the animal protein, you certainly can use mushrooms to be really good in this, or even roasted chickpeas, just to add that layer of crunch. So I'm going to take our ground up chicken sausage, and it does have a little bit of sun-dried tomato in it, which will be nice. And I'm just going to start layering this, as you can see. And then you want to top that mixture with the mozzarella. And that's going to be our first layer. And that's that step. So you're going to continue the same process, continuing to layer your zucchini, dredge it up, and make a nice little lasagna. And the thing I like about this, there isn't any red sauce. For people who may be suffering from reflux, there's nothing there that may have that acid, but by all means, if you want to add a little bit of a marinara to this, that would probably be nice, just depending on what you and your family do like. So really, with the recipes I like to present, I want to be able to have options so everybody can make it to their liking and enjoy the recipes, and also customize it a little bit differently if you want to. This meal itself was relatively cheap. It cost less than $20. I'm trying to be more mindful on recipes presenting this year, especially with the cost increasing in the grocery stores and other shopping markets. You just gotta shop it in a budget and make meals that you can get more than 1 serving out of it. This meal here, you could probably make, you can serve 5. It's great for meal prepping. I know I always plug meal prepping and trying to get ahead for the week, but it's also a good idea to do. You can freeze this dish. You can keep it in the refrigerator for up to 3 to 5 days. Reheating it is super easy. If you want to freeze it, it's totally what you guys want to do. But it's just nice to have it already pre-made and done. So that's my second layer I just did. I'm going to go for 3, and then we're going to top it off. I think my prep time was less than 15 minutes. It was something I did early this morning, was the first one we made, and I did not put any protein in it. I left it minus the protein, and it's more of a vegetarian. I know some of us are approaching, we have Lent coming up, and you want to try to find some healthy meatless meals to make during the week or on a Friday. This might be something you may want to throw into the menu. Make it a couple of different ways and offer it as a meal. All right, so here is my 3rd layer, and I'm going to stop right here. And at this point, if you want to top it with another layer of your protein on top, you can certainly do so. And finally, you're going to put your mozzarella cheese on top. So I'm going to do another thin layer of this. Now I'm going to top it with a generous amount of mozzarella because this is going to be our topping. Now the red pepper flakes is optional. If you like a little bit of heat, of course, of your dry ingredients, paprika is one of them. You could opt for a smoked paprika for a little bit more kick. If you want to keep this the way it is, you can certainly put pepper flakes or not. It's totally optional. So I am going to use my pepper flakes here. I'm going to top this like this. And finally, after I feel I have enough on there, we like a little bit of heat on our food. I'm going to drizzle with some olive oil the top of this, and you'll see why when I show you the final result. It adds a nice little beautiful crispness and brownness to that cheese. And here it is. We prepped it together. It's all set to go. I'm going to put it in my oven. I let it go about 25 to 35 minutes depending on how deep you made your layers. It's going to go right in the oven and start cooking. And once it's done, it'll look so much like this one here. It'll be absolutely beautiful. As you can see, the layers are gorgeous. It has a nice golden brown, the cheese, and even on the ends. And the parchment paper is great because you just simply lift it out and you can put it on the side. This one here I made this morning was about 2 layers I did. As you can see, that is the thickness that I knew would happen, but the one we made together will be a little bit more thicker. And you can certainly cut it right up. It's easy to cut. I've let this one cool for a bit. And it's nice to have a zucchini because you don't have to worry about a starch being with your noodles. It's a nice substitution when you're making anything with a pasta. I like using the zucchini. And you can hear that nice little crunch. It's yummy, it's cheesy with the 2 cheese blends in it. It's great. And this is how it looks on the side. It's nice and layered. It's not watery. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And I really hope you guys will try this out this month. Give it a try and definitely try to be on top of your cardiovascular health. Please do so and have your numbers checked. And if you want to do CPR training, it's an awesome thing to do. You will have no regrets. So again, this is our easy zucchini lasagna in our loaf pan. I hope you try this out. Have a wonderful weekend and a great week. Thank you so much.